One GVSU student is facing discipline from the school. I'm Matt Martella, and I'll tell you what he did coming up next.
Student fundraising just hit a milestone. I'm Mackenzie Thaden, and I'll tell you about that coming up.
Teens in tanning, there may be some new laws on using the beds.
And some big drama for Michigan teams on the road to the Final Four. Those stories plus more coming up on GV10 News. Good morning, Grand Valley. I'm Marvis Herring.
And I'm Sarah DeCann. According to Kent County Police, a man was found on fire along US 31 in Plainfield Township around 4 p.m. on Saturday. A citizen stopped when he noticed the man in trouble. The bystander told police he threw dirt on the burned victim to put the fire out. Police say the man sustained burns on 100% of his body and died shortly after arriving to the hospital. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
The Kent County Sheriff's Office reports that one of their deputies crashed into some parked cars early Sunday morning. According to police, a citizen called the police department around 3 a.m. to inform them about the crash. Investigators say the cruiser was going north on Division, crossed the center line, and crashed into some parked cars. The officer was not seriously injured, but police say the crash was a result of the officer's medical condition and did not disclose the details.
A proposed bill could ban anyone under 18 from using tanning facilities in Michigan. Customers under 18 currently must have a parent or guardian co-sign a statement acknowledging they understand the risks. Staff at J2 Tanning in East Lansing say that if the bill goes through, they stand to lose a lot of business.
Typically, under 18 makes up about 15 to 20% of our business, so if it does pass, obviously it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but like any business, you have to adapt.
Michigan isn't the only state considering limits to tanning in response to concerns about cancer. California has already passed a similar bill.
One student at GVSU will face a school disciplinary hearing after forging faculty emails. Our own Matt Martella tells us more.
Students at Grand Valley rely on their student email accounts to stay connected with school officials and to find out if classes are canceled. As a joke, one GVSU student created fake faculty email accounts through Google and sent them out to various students. However, the Grand Valley Police Department didn't find the prank that funny.
Because of the nature of the incident, we reviewed the case with the Ottawa County prosecutor as well. There are no criminal charges that can be identified at this point in time. However, there will be university sanctions.
Police have not released the name of the individual or how many students were affected, but Captain DeHaan is glad the individual was caught.
It's very inappropriate to engage in that. Individuals who receive those emails at first glance may assume that they're being instructed to do these type of things, in which case that goes against a lot of the values that we here at the university identify with.
The internet is supposed to be a place where people can remain anonymous, but are they really?
And I think it's very important that individuals have an understanding that things can be traced, they can be tracked. If individuals are engaging in any type of activity electronically, that these things will be followed up on, specifically if it resembles or if it is to be treated as a criminal offense.
No criminal charges are being filed at this time. In Allendale, I'm Matt Martella.
Police staff at Grand Valley say it's best to check subject lines and make sure you know who sent the email. He also assured that if university shuts down, students will receive emails through the campus emergency system.
Campus media is fighting for a good cause. Did they meet their mark?
And GV students got a taste of the Middle East, plus more. Stick around.
These little snowflakes you can barely see will hopefully be the end of it for winter. I'm Elena Holland, and I'll have more with weather coming up.
A collaboration to raise money and awareness for the American Cancer Society at Grand Valley had a pretty lofty goal. Our own Mackenzie Thaden tells us more.
This studio has just seen history. For the first time at GVSU, student media teamed up together to raise funds. GVSU's GVTV, the Lantorn, and the Whale all raised money for 24 hours for Relay for Life.
For a friend.
A day dedicated to fundraising ended with a live telethon by GVTV from 8 to 10 on Thursday evening. The goal was to raise $2,400 in 24 hours.
Some of us do it for grandparents. I know I do it for mine. let's do it for friends.
The kickoff was a luminaria ceremony where members of the clubs could remember those affected by cancer.
It was a way to honor and remember anyone that we've ever known that had cancer or who might end up getting cancer. We don't know. So it was just a way to bond and get ready for the next 24 hours that was about to happen.
At 10 o'clock Wednesday night, the PayPal account opened and the clubs started accepting donations. But why the American Cancer Society? GVTV's Jamie Barkowitz says the decision was simple.
Everyone I've ever met has known someone who's been affected by cancer. It's something that everyone can relate to. And so we thought it'd be the best way to raise awareness and get everyone on board for something.
Barkowitz says this broadcast was one of the most challenging things GVTV has ever done. There were numerous entertainment acts, 2 locations, 14 crew members, and 5 hosts.
I was actually going
It definitely is a big step to what we can do next year as a group.
The final tally came in at $2,427.
We'd like to present this check to the American Cancer Society for this year's Relay for Life.
In Allendale, I'm Mackenzie Payton.
This telethon set the bar pretty high for any future collaborations between newspaper, radio, and television at Grand Valley.
Grand Valley students got a taste of the Middle East on Monday in Kirkhoff. The Arabic Culture Club hosted its first annual Taste of the Arab World on Monday. The event showcased students whose first language isn't English. They performed poems, dances, and musical acts. Organizers say they're excited to expose students to something new.
It's just to expose Grand Valley to the vibrant culture that the Middle East really has, because it has a lot to offer. So we do that through food, through henna, through dancing, through music, just through everything to really let the students of Grand Valley know what the Middle Eastern culture is all about and how much fun it can be.
Students who are interested in joining the Arabic Culture Club can sign up in the Office of Multicultural Affairs. Now it looks a little chilly out there. Elena, is spring here yet?
Well, Sarah, after all the teases from Mother Nature, it looks like we can once and for all put away those awful Ugg boots and trade them in for this season's trendy wedges. Well, now that I have all the men paying attention, you may seem a little skeptical taking a look outside. As you can see, the past couple days brought Old Man Winter back for an encore. But trust me, guys, it ends starting now. Spring really is coming. Over the next week, we'll be seeing an increase in temperatures. After today, we will no longer see the high drop lower than 40 degrees, and the chance of snow will be 0. So as the last patches of snow begin to disappear like this one, it is finally starting to break out those spring clothes. This is something you men look forward to since the invention of the sundress, right guys? Well, today we are seeing a partly sunny sky until midday, then after lunchtime it will turn mostly sunny with highs in the upper 30s. This evening it will be a little colder after your drive home with temperatures in the mid-20s and about a 70% chance of the last snowfall of the season. Now let's take a look at the rest of the 5-day forecast for the week. Tomorrow it will be bright and sunny with no chance of snow or rain and a high of 42 degrees. Thursday we will reach a high for the week at 54 degrees and still bright enough for those sunglasses we've been looking forward to wearing all winter. Headed into the weekend, Friday remains sunny with a high of 50 degrees, and Saturday the clouds begin to roll in with a high of 47 degrees that leads into rain showers by the evening. The rain will continue into Sunday and hopefully melt away all the rest of those pesky little snow patches.
So what marks the beginning of spring for you?
Well, you know, Sarah, everyone has those little things that always remind them of spring, but I love the smell of the rain on the concrete, the beginning of baseball season, longer days, and yes, the sundresses. Just bring on those floor prints and all the strappy sandals.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lena.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, spring has officially sprung here in West Michigan, but snow still remains in Canonsburg's ski area. 200 competitors met at the mountain to run in the first annual Creek to Peak Challenge. The 3-part series will consist of ice, water, and fire-themed courses with challenges including everything from snow climbs to mud crawls.
It's a challenge run that is a 5K with obstacles or challenges. So this particular race had about 18 obstacles, and our summer race will be a different course, different obstacles. Same thing with our fall race.
The challenges that these guys came up with at Canonsburg are pretty amazing. They're a lot of fun. I'm an adrenaline junkie by nature, so that's what makes it fun, I think, for me.
The next event takes place in mid-July and features water and earth-type obstacles, and the public is welcome to compete. Everything in Zumberg Library is moving across the pond, plus these stories coming up.
Michigan Madness continues, plus highlights from the Pistons and the Red Wings. GV10 Sports is next.
Does all this cold weather have you dreaming of a vacation in the sun? Well, I'm going to tell you about a tropical escape right here in West Michigan, coming up.
Michigan sports teams were in action this weekend, and Martez Williams is here to let us know a little bit more about what happened in sports this weekend.
Yes, Marvis, the Wings and the Pistons both had games against Chicago teams, and Michigan dominated their way into the Final Four. But we begin at the Joe, where the Wings took on the Blackhawks, 17 to some change to go in the first, and it's Howard with the rejection. But here's Jeremy Moore with the net ball scramble to put the Blackhawks up 1-0. Fast forward to the second period, and it's soon with the active stick, and it's sad with the goal. Detroit will go on to lose 7-1. Now let's take a trip down Interstate 94 to the United Center in Chicago for what turned out to be a close game between the Pistons and the Bulls. Starting in the fourth is Kim English with the turnover, and Jimmy Butler with the high-flying one-hand slam to tie the game up at 78. Off the rebound and transition, Robinson to Dang for the go-ahead layup, and Pistons blew traffic. 1 minute and 29 ticks left. It's Greg Monroe with the beautiful feed to Rodney Stuckey. Take a look here. Rodney Stuckey to the slash, down to the basket, and it brings Pistons within one, but it wasn't enough as the Pistons dropped 18 straight to the Bulls. After the Wolverines upset the number one Jayhawks, no one seed Jayhawks, they saw themselves in the opportunity to play in the Final Four, but they had to go through Billy Donovan's Florida Gators. In the beginning of the first Florida turnovers, Tim Hardaway leading the break with Nick Staukis going behind the back to McGarry. Watch it again, a nasty slam from McNasty. Trey Burke going to aggressive to the hole, and this Glenn Robinson, number one, with the slam. Michigan steamrolls Florida to go to the Final Four, and you know it was a good day. Now, this is Michigan's first Final Four appearance since 1993 with the famous Fab Five era.
Oh, yeah, and it seems like it was an exciting game for Michigan, but how do you think they'll stack up against Syracuse?
Syracuse, I think they match up well with that powerhouse club. It's a tall tale between two number 4 seeds, and we should see what happens.
It's definitely going to be a good game, and I got to root for Michigan in that game for sure. Thanks, Tess.
The renovation project on the Zumberg Library has begun, and students feel that the improvements will benefit Grand Valley.
I think that it will, especially when the campus entirely starts to expand further out that way, and the library will again be the center of campus.
Really, the administration needs more room to do it. They need the resources.
The $22 million project is expected to be completed in May of next year and will be called James H. Zumberg Hall. After the renovations are completed, the building will become an administration building. Zumberg Library will remain open until the end of the semester. After that, a temporary satellite library will be open in the Thornapple Room in the Kirchhoff Center until the Pew Library is completed.
Butterflies from the tropical regions around the world have arrived right here in West Michigan, and Jessica Smith has more from the Lena Meyer Conservatory.
Spring has sprung and the butterflies are blooming here at Frederick Meyer Gardens. A lot of students started spring break this week, and they kicked it off by going to a tropical location. Butterflies are blooming open March 1st to help welcome the spring season.
When you come in the conservatory, it's 80 degrees. It's wonderful. There's beautiful tropical butterflies from all over the world, Africa, Central and South America, and Asia, and they're fluttering all over the place in this warm tropical climate.
The conservatory is the largest temporary butterfly exhibit in the nation. Over the span of 2 months, it plays host to more than 6,000 butterflies flying around freely. One visitor was lucky enough to make friends with a zebra mosaic butterfly.
Well, I just pointed at it and it just walked on my finger.
Yasmin Gaston's father enjoys watching his daughters learn about the butterflies.
They're looking at everything and trying to figure out which one is which, and trying to figure out what's their name, what are they called. They're looking at the patterns, the colors, following them around, and sticking out a finger and trying to see if one will land on them or crash into them like mine just now. But they're having a good time. They're learning a lot as they go.
The tropical habitat houses more than 40 different species. Hundreds of chrysalises are pinned in the butterfly bungalow where visitors can witness the butterfly's transformation from caterpillar to flight. Frederick Meyer Gardens takes visitors out of the winter drag and brings them to a tropical location where they can feel the heat of the coming summer while being surrounded by butterflies and plants from around the world. In Grand Rapids, I'm Jessica Smith, GV10 News.
Butterflies Are Blooming is the most popular exhibit at Frederick Meyer Gardens. They had around 4,000 visitors just this weekend. The exhibit is open until the end of April. Sounds like a pretty fun exhibit to go to on a spring day once it warms up, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've never been, but I would love to see those butterflies. They looked beautiful.
Oh yeah, definitely just frolic around over there in that. That's going to wrap it up for things here at GV10 News.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great week, Lakers.